going on, guys? It's Rob from Backwoods Trailblazers. I'm going to do a breakdown video of my bag. Since I can't get out in the woods and do any wilderness videos, I'm going to tell you what I take out with me. So, that's where we're at this week. I'm going to go over everything that's in it, everything that's on it. It's really all not that much, you know. It's not really anything special either. There's nothing. I'm not rich, so it's nothing expensive. So first off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the bag. It's a 45-liter Ozark trail bag. You can pick them up at your local Walmart. It comes in it breaks down into two sections. So there's a zipper part here that you can, inside it, that you can zip closed and get easy access down here. My thing is it basically houses my shelter. So everything else is easy access already. When you got this section here filled, you can expand the top, and that's where everything that's not shelter related is in this little section here on top. And then the lid has a little bit of first aid in it. Actually, first aid right now is in my truck, but the lid keeps the first aid, and that way it's easy access right here at the top. And then I have food and my kitchen, the whole 9 yards. So let's go down on what's on the outside of this bag. I keep my water right here. I fill this up before I go out, and then while I'm out there, I try and fill it up too. I take it easy until I know where I'm going, and then if I get somewhere where there's easy access to water, it's easy to keep this filled. If not, this is your normal military issued Camelbak. It was given to me by a friend. I might have actually had to buy it off him, but I gave him something for it. I keep it all on with the mini bungee cords. I actually put quite a few of them on the bag because they come in useful out there. So if we're going to go down into a whole bag breakdown, we're going to use these too. Let's see here. Yeah. I have a total, I believe, 6 of these. And I'll show you why I have 6 of them in a minute. There are grommets all the way around this bag. 3 on each side, 3 on each side, for a total of 6. Hence the 6 straps. I take the mouthpiece, which is a bite mouthpiece, and I run it right through here. Easy on and off. Pop it off. Bite it. Get yourself a little drink of water. Turn it back off. Let me show you that there. Camelbaks are a great item. Has an on and off valve right here, which shuts the water off to that so it's not leaking out on you. And then you bite down and it opens it up. Start sucking on it, you get a drink of water. The whole bag breaks down. Easy cleaning. You can buy these on Amazon. You can buy the hose on Amazon. Pretty sure you can buy the bag on Amazon, but like I said, it was given to me, or I might have had to give a friend something for it. If I'm going out on a quick hike or whatever away from the camp, I can take it up and just bring this with me. So that way I've always got water on me when I take off. I take this up hunting with me too if I'm going to be in the stand the entire day. And another nice feature about it is I can put my tags, my deer tags right in here when I'm out hunting. I can put some gloves right in here when I'm out hunting, you know, like rubber gloves, or you know, I can put anything in there that I have put pretty much anything in there. So I keep this full of water pretty much all the time. It's easy to clean, just a little bit of bleach in it with some water, mix it around. 6 bungee straps, 6 micro bungee straps or mini bungee straps. Also on the bag here, I have a spot for the camera. This is a swivel clip for the GoPro. It's pretty sturdy, pretty heavy duty clip. I just leave that here so I know right where it is. It doesn't normally get used, but you can put it there. I can take it off, put it on the brim of my hat. I can, you know, I could stick it up here, have the camera facing behind me, whatever have you. Just an easy place to keep the clip. Also, oh wait a minute, I guess I have 8 of these straps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2 of them keep the help keep some of the video recording items on the outside. Now what I do here for this is all my, not all, but a good portion of mounts and such for the GoPro. I take the 2 straps, the cinch straps, instead of running them up and down on the side like so. I take this off so I can show you. I cross them over so that, normally you just do this. I cross them over so that it helps hold this and these in. Now the reason I wear these, I take these in the river with me. First off, I don't want to get my shoes wet or my boots wet. So I take these and I can walk around in the rivers, and I don't care where you go. Everywhere you go, there's hazards made by man. I've stepped on glass before, so these help. I've stepped on nails before. They don't help too much, but they help. They're a pair of body glove, water shoes. The bottoms of them have drainage. They help. That's why I have these ones. They help get the water out and help keep your feet a little bit drier. And like I said, this right here is camera equipment. Not something normally for survival, but I have to take it with me because of the recording. I have a case for one of my GoPro. This is the waterproof one. I swap it out with the one that's on it, which is a Hero5 35mm aluminum case. Makes it a little bit easier to mount. Well, I got it because it has a hot shoe on top of it for the microphone, which goes in here. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll put a little clip in there of the microphone from Amazon. It is a, I can't even, I don't even know, I can't even read it anymore. It's all worn out. So yeah, this is all just, you know, miscellaneous pieces. I got a couple of bags here to help wipe the lens clean or whatnot. I have my charging equipment, a couple of charging cables. This one here I can plug in to keep both of my batteries charged while I'm out there. I do have a way to do that. I have the remote control for the GoPro. I can charge that up. You know, just a bunch of extra stuff. And my charging equipment in cases to keep my audio equipment from getting damaged. I also put this in here so that you know, kind of helps keep scratches off it, which, you know, get a nice bright glare on it, you're gonna see scratches on the lens, even though it's not actually on the GoPro lens. And if I don't have to replace that, like I said, I'm not rich, I'm not gonna replace it. So that's that. It's just a bunch of camera equipment. Now, like I said, I can keep everything charged. See, I take a sandwich bag out with a couple more things. Oh, it's in here. It's actually right in here. The reason how I can keep everything charged is I have 3 batteries. And I keep a LensPen in here to keep my lenses clean. It's just basic camera stuff. I keep an extra micro SD card easy access to the tool. There's one in there, but I still keep easy access to one in this little bag. And I keep this on top and separate because this is where the batteries are. And everybody knows GoPro batteries suck. This little baggie right here has some moisture strips in it for the waterproof case. You put them inside and it helps prevent the fogging. I also keep this for batteries. So what I do is once GoPro beeps at me telling me the battery's dead, I get into this little bag, I grab me a fresh battery out, put it in the GoPro, and I take, this battery's actually dead. I recorded yesterday. So I take the dead battery out and I stick it in this bag. So now this battery is dead. It's inside this bag. So when I reach in here to grab another battery, which is right here, I'm grabbing a full battery and I know it because the dead battery is in the bag. So that's how I keep, you know, the rest of it. Some of the other equipment, batteries and quick things to access for it, you know, all separated and organized so I can change out batteries quick, or I can clean up my lens quick. Keep that right in the top. Like I said, first aid kit, I'm gonna go grab that real quick. It's in my truck, it's right here, hold on. Now this is actually a full trauma kit that I keep in here. It's got a tourniquet in it. Any small first aid, if it's bad, you know, bad, I'm going to end everything that I'm doing and head out. If I break a leg, I'm not going anywhere anyways. If I break an arm, I've got plenty of stuff here. I've got some bungee straps. I've got, I carry a schmog with me. I can make a sling. I've got this. It's a white bandana. You know, I got a nasty cut. I can hold it on it. Get it wet with the cold water if there's cold water. Hold it on it. Whatever, what have you. Help clot it up real quick. And get out of the situation. There's no reason to stay in the situation and keep on filming or camping or hiking or whatever you're doing just for video if you're actually hurt. And then I have a full trauma kit. So if it's serious, the 3 different levels of it I consider a little cut. I have a little bit of first aid for that. Bad helps me, you know, I've got a couple of things to get me out of the situation. I'll leave everything there and I'll come back for it later. Serious is when the trauma kit comes in and I'm gonna need help. And that's one reason why you should never go out by yourself. So this is your basic Army kit. It has, you know, a couple of little things. I've never really gotten into it. You know, I take care of myself while I'm out there. I've got some gloves in here. I've got some bandage wraps. I've got some clean stuff, some gauze. Quick clot, if it's really bad, throw this on it. It will clot it up. Tourniquet, you know, if you sever an artery or something, you can use a tourniquet. Tourniquets are a last resort because you can lose your limb using a tourniquet. So yeah, this goes in the top of the bag. Seals all back up nice and tight. That stays with the bag. Tourniquet sticks in the outside of it so it stays, you know, it all stays together when you pull it out. I leave the quick clot right in the back of it because, you know, if it's bad, that's probably the first thing you're going to go to. Serious, that's the first thing you're going to go to. So, the 3 stages of my first aid kit. The other one is always on my person. When I'm hiking, this is not on my bag, this is on my person. Because normally it's just a little cut or something like that you don't want to get infected. This is the Schrade survival knife. I'll go into this here in just a second. But it stays on my side, and I have an Altoids tin here in the front. It's got a light. It's got a source of water. Looks like I need to clean and change this out. Do that like every year or so. But it's got a bag here. Let me show you the bag here real quick. Yeah, it's got some rust on it from the Altoids tin. But if I was to go out with it, it'll still do the job. It's a container for water. If you look at the 5 C's of survivability, I might do a video here soon on what I take for the 5 C's of survivability out in the woods with me, and that way you'll all know that I do carry the 5 C's of survivability, at least the 5 C's, most of the time the 10 C's. If you watch me break this down, you'll probably find all 5 C's right here if you break it down. So no you won't. Actually, I don't have a canvas needle, so not in this. It's usually in my wallet. Actually, it goes and should be in this. I have a flashlight. It's just a little nano flashlight. A lot of times you can find these on keychains. I'm pretty sure that this is where this one came from. And, you know, it's in an emergency, it'll do the job. It's not ideal, but in a tough situation, it'll do the job. I have some burn relief because I always burn myself. Some alcohol white pads and a couple of different sizes of bandages in here. You know, this is, like I said, I got hurt. I got a boo-boo. I need to get it covered up so it doesn't get infected. That's when I get into this one. Okay, so let's put this all back in. And then the next step would be I'm hurt to the point where I need to leave or I need stitches. I have a nasty, nasty burn. I cover it with this. I get the hell out of there. I'm dropping everything and leaving. And severe is here. You don't need a lot of, if you know how to use your first aid kits, you don't need a lot of first aid kit. The knife itself, which is always on my side when I'm out there, it's a straight edge, full tang knife, solid hunk of steel. And if you ever, as a kid, saw the survival knives, this is like the pro version of one. It's very nice. I keep in here, these are Stormproof matches. They are phenomenal. If you can't get a fire started with one of them, well, there's problems. More than, you know, you're in the jungle and it's in the middle of a typhoon and serious, they're extremely crazy matches. While I'm out there, I'll show you how they work and all that good stuff. So, you know, your basic everyday full tang knife with a sheath and an Altoids tin with first aid on it. And the reason that, you know, this is always on me, that's in my pocket. This is on me. You always should keep it on you. Has a little bit of cordage with it around my leg to hold it to my leg. And this is in my pocket when I'm not carrying my bag. So, yeah, this is on me. Even when I'm carrying my bag, it's not on the outside of the bag, it's on me. Going farther in, I have, well, let's finish the outside of it before we get to the inside of it. On this side of it here, I have a little bit more stuff. This is the Gorilla Pod, Gorilla Tripod, or Octopus Pod. They get called quite a few things. I put a hair tie on it and run it through that, right through here so it don't fall off. Just some more video equipment, which seems to take up quite a bit of this outside of this bag, not so much the inside of the bag. There is quite a bit in the inside of the bag though too. Axe. No, oh, you can take a hatchet. No, you're not going to get the same response as you are with a good axe. In bushcraft, you should always have an axe. You can take a hatchet if you want to. There's nothing wrong with taking a hatchet, but when you've got an axe, it makes all the difference in the world. I've gone out without it. I do go out without it, but that's only in certain situations that I go out without it. Otherwise, I'm taking it with it. It's just an Estwing made in America. You know, lightweight Estwing axe. Good Lord, where'd the water come from? I'm going to have to get in here before the weekend. So I might actually be able to go out this weekend get everything cleaned up, re-up on everything, make sure it's all cleaned up. This wasn't like this the other day when I put this bag back together, because I was supposed to go out this weekend, but here I am working today. So that's that. I got the axe. This is what I normally, even if I'm not going out with this big bag, I'm still taking this little saw. It's a folding saw. I think it's Gorillas. You can buy these at Walmart. It's nothing special, but it is a great little folding saw for small tasks. It does great. You know, you're building a shelter and you need a couple inch twig, you know, inch, maybe 2-3 inches tops. Got to put a little bit of effort into it, but you'll get through it real quick and it'll save your butt. Some more camera gear. It's a Go Stick. It's for the GoPro, and I'm not carrying the big tripod. I can walk around with this and talk to y'all and all that good stuff. Just more camera equipment. Why in the heck would you take a Phillips head screwdriver out with you? Well, funny story. I wear a duty belt. A concealed carry, I wear a duty belt. Helps distribute the weight around my waist. My little knife that I wear on my side all the time. When I want to change my pants, which is every day, kind of have to take the sheath apart because of the Cobra buckle doesn't let the knife go over it. So I take this old screwdriver just in case at some point I want to get that knife off that belt, not normal, and that way I don't have to fight with it or break it to get it off or whatever. Obviously, fishing pole. It's nothing special. It's just a gas station cheap fishing pole. A lot of stuff gets damaged when you're out there, so it's an ultralight fast action rod. So I take this out with me because it's just easy to carry, and I probably should take a backup pole as well, but this one's easy to carry, and I have broken a pole out there. 2 of them actually. Had to borrow my brother's. But yeah, I take this out and the reel is in there. If you're going into a survival situation or you're wanting to get into any kind of bushcraft or anything like that, outdoors playing in the woods, I highly, even if you're a fisherman, I highly recommend the Morakniv Companion. This knife comes extremely sharp. It's a Scandinavian grind, so it's extremely easy to sharpen, and it will stand up to almost every single full tang knife you can think of. I get the stainless steel one because I spend a lot of time around water, and the high carbon steel, there's a mosquito driving me crazy. And I got eaten up yesterday, I tell you what. Oh man, I'm chewed all up. But I take the stainless steel because I'm around a lot of water. But the Morakniv Companion, man, I can't say enough about this thing. It's insane the abuse that one of these things can take. And they're dirt cheap, like 15 bucks for one of these. You can go right on Amazon, pick one up for 15 bucks. Most of this stuff I can put links in the description below, so just check the description below and you'll find links for most of this stuff. So here it is, the Morakniv Companion. Man, you can't beat it. There's nothing. I mean, I buy one of these every year for hunting season. So I have a fresh blade for hunting season. Every year. I love that thing. Can't get enough of it. Other side of the pack. That's everything from this side. Yep, that's everything. So, to the other side of the pack. I carry, it's gonna sound weird, but I do it. The vacuum cleaner pipe. Why, might you ask? Well, turns my fishing pole into a fishing trap. I can just set it up, leave it, put a small circle hook on it, leave it, and I have done it, and I have caught catfish. I'm not getting bit by that mosquito today, I'll tell you what. I will catch it and I will kill it. So, inside there, I kind of pushed it down with the pole, but inside there, there's a stringer. It's cheap, everyday Walmart stringer. It's $1. I'm saying if you're going out there and you're trying to do it on a budget, this is serious budget stuff. Some of it does have a little bit of price to it, but it's because I've had others and they've broken and I've upgraded. It's another little selfie stick, second camera. I will not, I got it with the, I'll leave a link for this in the description below. Definitely going to leave a link to this. I got this case and it had all kinds of accessories for the GoPro, and it was like 25 bucks when I bought it. I can't say it's the same price now, but it came with this. This is what I'm talking about when I say that some of this, you can do this all on a budget, and I've had stuff and it breaks, or I found, I've also found stuff that doesn't work. So I spent 25 bucks on this case, got all kinds of stuff for the GoPro, and this stick, I can put it out there, I can talk to y'all, I can do everything with it. It can't support the weight of the GoPro. So I do have another camera that it can support the weight for, or there's a piece that I can screw on here and snap my phone into it. But that's why I ended up getting this. Now the reason I take this is because there is another small camera. I've used it once before for a video, and that's when I decided to go with external audio. Speaking of external audio, let me tell you about that. This is the, what is it? The Sony PX440. It's a great little thing. It's got, it's got a whole button on it. Awesome battery life. Talking like, what am I at, 43 hours right now on one AA battery. AA or AAA? I know I can tell you by pulling this out. AAA. Keep two of them in there, extra batteries, just because. So that's all it is. And I have a Sony lavalier microphone on. So that's how I do my audio. I do have audio on the GoPro, but it only works really good inside or really close to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good, but also when it's in the waterproof case, it doesn't work. Stainless steel canteen. I've had this thing for 5 years. It's a Stanley stainless steel canteen. Throw it right in the fire. I do it all the time. The canteen itself has no plastic. The lid is plastic, so you got to make sure it's cooled down before you put the lid on it. It's filled with coffee and hot chocolate and stuff like that. So, because I don't have to worry about the canteen having water in it with the bag. So I use the space wisely. I put coffee, and I think there's a couple of granola bars in there. These here, not as important as you might think. This is wild edible plants in North American species. This gives you a list of wild edible plants. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and, oh wow, check this out. I can eat common sunflower, or I can eat this, or I can eat that. That's great. Edible fruits and edible berries. If you turn it over here, poisonous plants, contact poisonous plants. They can be pretty close. Like we have the, let me see if I can find one here that's similar. Poison ivy, poison oak. Here we go. Kind of similar. Yeah. Poisonous hemlock. If you're not paying attention to reading this and you're just looking, some of these could be misconstrued here. Okay, here's one. Yeah, poisonous hemlock and northern bedstraw. They kind of look similar in these pictures. Just saying that they do. So it's more, hey, check this out, and I can go into it and I can bring it back with me and talk to a specialist or whatever. Someone that actually knows. I'm not going to go out in the woods and say, oh, no, look, shove it down my throat. Yeah, I eat something that looks similar. They have poisonous cousins that look exactly alike. This is the North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia Snake Guidebook. Same thing. I'm not saying look at this and be like, oh, there's a snake there. Grab this out and be like, that's such and such. You know, walk up to it. It's not poisonous. No, this is more if I'm bit by a snake while I'm out there. There's only a couple of poisonous snakes. And yes, one of them is the Eastern Diamondback. This shows all snakes in the state of South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina that are poisonous, that are not poisonous. And if you know, well, yeah, there it is. Eastern Diamondback, Timber Rattlesnake, Eastern Coil Snake, Cottonmouth or Water Moccasin, Copperhead, Pygmy Rattlesnakes. You hear these cicadas? You hear them everywhere. Pygmy rattlesnake is quieter than these cicadas. So if I look down, whap, I got bit by a snake. Oh crap, what did I get bit by? I can look at it. This will help me identify the snake because antivenom only works for the specific snake that you are bit by. That helps in that situation. It's not meant for you to be able to go out and grab a snake up and say, this ain't poisonous, because yeah, very well could be. If you're not an expert, don't mess with the snakes. I keep my tent poles on the outside of my bag. Just easy access to them. More fishing gear. A lot of what I catch is trout, and you know, I'm not actually in a survival situation. I don't want to hurt the trout, so I keep a pair of hemostats with me to help get the hook out. And I do a lot of that. Mosquito's got me like 3 times, and I said he wasn't going to get me. So if I can get him, there he is. I killed a bug. Someone called PETA. Anyways, change the lures a lot. This makes it a lot easier. Untangling. It's got a tiny little knife on it. So, you know, if I needed a knife and I didn't have a knife, it's got a tiny little blade on it. If I can find things that got blades in them, I'm more likely not just going to buy it just because of that. So that's the outside of the bag. Tent poles. I'll leave them right there. Now, like I said, this here pretty much houses all of my shelter, but I do put a couple other things in here. It's 2 compartments here, but you can unzip it and make it one big compartment. That's what I've done, just because the things that aren't shelter related are right here, which is, this thing's not normally laying down this way when I open it up. First things first, my camp kitchen. Now I can, no, letting you know, I can and have walked away from my base camp with just this on. That's why it has a strap. So, because I have some chem lights on the outside of it. I've got 2 spoons. I've got a stirring spoon. You know, if you get some tea and whatever, you want to mix it up and help it, whatever, you don't have to get your other spoons dirty. Your eating spoons. They're actually Sporks. Let me take one off here. I double wrap it. It's got a piece of paracord on it, and I wrap it down in and I pull it through. It just kind of secures it so it doesn't fall off. Not because I don't want to lose my Spork. I don't want to lose my Spork, but they're kind of expensive. They're totes. They are titanium. Man, I've had plastic. The reason I went with these is because I did use plastic Sporks, and this is lighter than a plastic Spork. It's metal, and I can tie this to it and not lose it. And I went with Sporks originally because you got them little what are they? The hiking multi-utensil. It's got a knife on it, and it's got a spoon on it. It's got a fork on it. You know, they're hard to clean. So I went with Sporks because I could, not environmentally friendly, but I could throw the thing in the fire pit and be done with it. And then, well, I got 10 of them in here. But it goes right there. I can just clean off real quick with some warm water and my fingers, or if I'm near water and there's sand, I can run it in the sand and clean it off and do a really good job when I get home with my dishwasher. But I'm not, you know, it's just easier to have them, and I went with them because they're lightweight. One of those other things that I've gone through and found out, hey, it's easier to go spend a little bit of money on it. These are more of the Stormproof matches. It's got this waterproof case on it. The case is kind of cheap, so I took some electrical tape and some Teflon tape and went around the threads. And strikers on them aren't the greatest, that's why they come with extras. But you can buy just the matches, and they come with a couple extra strikers. So the striker will sit on the outside of it. You can take it and stick it in this little channel right here, and it'll help support the striker, because like I said, they're not the greatest strikers in the world, but if you keep them dry, they work. And Stormproof matches will light soaking wet. If you can, light them. If your striker's wet, you can't light them. But so keep your striker dry, it needs to save your life. I just found something I'm going to use. Keep a flint and steel. It's actually not flint. It's a ferrocedin rod. Light my fire ferrocedin rod. I keep that in here. What I do when I'm not using it, and I'm going to have to do it again, is I keep it painted so it doesn't rust out or corrode. I don't think it's really rust, but it doesn't corrode. I keep a Bic. I mean, why not? You know, you got 50,000 different ways to start a fire. You might as well take what you can. This is my stove. Now, I have a list upstairs of things that I need to buy on my way to the woods, and one of them is the gas can for this. It's just a micro gas can, it ain't nothing special. But this screws in here, like such, onto a gas can, and these extend out. You can put an extremely large pot on this, and I'll tell you what, man, it boils quick. Boils anything fast. This is super fast. Heating up water, cook a breakfast, whatever. Because, you know, if there's a fire band and you're out camping, don't light a fire. Have something like this with you. I've been out there and I said no fires. And why break the law? You know, you can get a heck of a ticket for that. So I take my little camp stove out with a gas can, and repel. There's days like this where you got a damn mosquito driving you crazy. I've literally been bit like 5 times standing here doing this video. Didn't even remember that it was in there. It was a great thing, great thing. So all this goes in this little pocket. The repel goes in the back. The Bic goes on this side. You can pack this thing full. This is I believe it's a Maxpedition water container. Another thing I'll link up. Inside of it, water container bag. Inside of it, I have GI mug where I put the gas can. It's up this way, so I know that they need, you know, I look in there and be like, all right, that's where the gas can goes. Easy access. I'm out in the woods. This is, it's a tight fit, but man, it's worth the tight fit. Now here's the advantage to this. If I'm going out with me and my wife for a day trip, I can take this, I can put one on here like this and one right side up with the gas can in it, throw it in there. I can make 2 lunches now. Inside it, it's, you know, a Stanley mug, stainless steel. I use stainless steel because it can take a lot more. Yes, it is heavier, but it can take a lot more, and I don't think they make this in titanium. Well, anyways, that fits on there. You know, I wouldn't, if you haven't noticed, I wouldn't recommend putting it near your fire, the lid near your fire. But you can make tea, you know, pour it in, back and forth, get the grit out of it. I've got Cliff bars in here. a little bit more hot chocolate. I keep a 3-day supply of hot chocolate and coffee. Because I like campfire mocha is what me and my buddy call them. And a couple more granola bars. You can take these Nature's Own granola bars. They're honey, crunchy, honey and oats. And you can boil some water up, put this in it, break it up, and have some oatmeal. Or you can eat it like this. So they're great. You know, they come in multi-handy, multi-useful. Yeah. All right. So this is my camp kitchen. And that's how I do it. Put it in this Maxpedition bag like this, upside down. Yes. There's a reason for upside down. When you have one, you're like, ah, crazy bastard. Why you put it in there upside down? Well, when you have one, you'll find out. It's just a lot easier to get it out when you can grab a hold of the bottom, because the bottom is thinner. And then that goes there with the gas can in it. Should have a little bit more room. I can put another lighter in there. You know what I did? I didn't put my fire starter back in this bag. Fire starter goes here. Goes right here. And I've got little things like this. I pack them down pretty well. Try and fit everything I can in it. Yeah. That's my kitchen. My brother got me this. It's more for my hunting camp tent than anything. It doesn't work during the day because it's charging, but at night it turns on, and there's 2 settings, 1 and 2. 1 is 7 LEDs, 2 is 1 LED. Just a little lamp I can put in my tent. I can read one of my brochures or whatever and have it around. My tackle box. Because I'm doing a lot of river fishing, I take a tiny little tackle box with me. I guess you can guess, really. It's a river fishing kit. So I got small lures. Not always after big fish with this. So I'm after food, more likely than not. So I've got some Rapalas, I've got a lot of MEPs, I've got some soft stuff. I'm not going to go through this because it's a lot. It's a fly box, so you can imagine that there's a lot in here. And another hair tie. Got hair ties everywhere, man. Alright. Next up. I do carry a flashlight on my side. It's charging. But I have a little $1. You can't really see it because of how bright it is out here. $1 Walmart cheap head lantern. Stick on your helmet. I attach it to this bag. Once again, this bag here can be loaded up with stuff for a day trip when you're going to walk away from your camp or whatever. I'll link it up on Facebook. I can't remember too much about it. But what I use it for is most of my camera gear that goes inside it when I'm walking around. Mosquito bites are itching. I have a plate really used for the dog. She thinks she's got her own bag, brings out her own food. This way I can, you know, mix up her food or whatever in the bowl or in the plate. I take some food out with me, some of this Mountain House dehydrated food. I'm usually out there for 3 days, so I take 3 meals. Try to mix them up. The sweet and sour pork to die for. I'd say it's one of my favorite ones. Try and pick the ones that have the higher protein. This chili mac, I think this one is my favorite. But this sweet and sour pork is amazing. And then I have a lasagna. These are 12 grams of protein. This one's 14. I think that's why I went with the lasagna, because it's 14 grams of protein. I don't think I've had the lasagna, but I know I've had both of these and they're freaking amazing. So I take some food out with me. Now we're getting into the part of the bag that really takes up the whole bag. So It is a dry bag in here. Stuff I don't want to get wet. I've got a feeling that I'm missing something. Yeah, I have another little fire starting kit. I've got this box. It can basically, you can make char cloth out of it if I had to. It has a Zippo. It has some lip balm. But this box is actually made for making char cloth, and I just carry that stuff in. So, yep, that's the bag right here itself. It's an Ozark Trail 45 liter. It has a rain fly on it that tucks into the bottom. Just crams into the bottom of it. I have pulled it out a couple of times and it works. So, cram the rain fly in the bottom of it. Hair tie. And this is the zipper section that you can zip up. I don't use it because my dry bag is so big. But that's the bag. Inside the dry bag, let's get to the dry bag. The other camera I was telling you about. Got this from my wife, but phone's got bigger and badder and all that good junk. And just a little Samsung camera. You can take some shots or do some dual angles or whatever, what have you. The fishing pole reel, just because I put it in, I don't have to put it in there, but it's out of the way. It's kind of awkward shaped, hard to put places. This is how I charge everything. I probably charge everything twice. At least twice I can charge everything. So everything's fully charged when I go out. That's day one. I can charge stuff overnight for day 2. And then again on night 2 for day 3. So I've got 3 days worth of power right here with the equipment that I have. It's in the dry bag because I just plain well don't want to get it wet. I have a pair of goggles in case I want to get some underwater shots. There's nothing special about them. Just a plain old pair of goggles. I don't always take them out, but when I have the big bag, I take them out. So I can get some, look around underwater. I think I got bit in the ears. The meat and potatoes of the camera gears right here. So that's mainly spare stuff. This is the stuff that I'll take with me when I'm walking around. I don't think there's anything special in here to show you. There's a chest harness. Yeah, that's about the only thing. Everything else is just a couple of sorted mounts and stuff. So, a floater. There's nothing really special. It's just camera gear. It's not anything like that. Always take them. Always. Nice pair of warm wool socks, because you never know. And if you don't know, wool, even soaking wet, retains 80% of its thermal capabilities soaking wet. I take a couple of pair of dry socks. I just like dry socks. A change of clothes, which is normally actually just so I can swim in the water, fish in the water, whatever, get wet and not worry about it. And a wicking shirt, fast drying wicking t-shirt. It's nothing special, really. Then down in the bottom of this is the actual sleep system. So, I'll get into this. I'll put all this together for you, do a quick video on how to put it all together. It's nothing really, actually, I don't want to say it's nothing really spectacular. It's just hard to get into. When you get into this, you're into it. You got your stuff set up for the weekend. That's something I like to get into if I don't have to get into. Just because it's a pain to cram in the bag, actually. And that's why that's the first thing to go into the bag. I have a lightweight sleeping bag. It's not a heavy-duty sleeping bag. It's rolled up like this because I can cram it in there, and then I can use that cinch bag to cinch it down and make it smaller. These are just cinch straps for it to give me a hand with the cinching down. Alright, since I'm into it, let me show you how to put this thing up, how I do this sleep system. Alright, so this is the Eureka Solitaire. This is the tent that I take out in my bag with me. Really easy to set up. So you can kind of just lay it flat. It comes with 2 poles, one short, one long. The long one goes in the front, short one goes in the back. Now, just like most tents, it can be a little bit of a nuisance to either get them in or get them out of these. And that's probably just because of the compact size of it. So on each side of it, there's this grommeted strap, probably to tent tightness, however tight you want your tent. There's 2 holes. I usually go on the outside one. It's not that it really matters which one you go on, but I always go on the outside one. And over here there's the same thing, 2 grommeted holes. Let's just hope this makes it through easily here for you so you can see it work. Now you see the rain fly here attaches to that. So this is why, I'll show you why I put the poles in first here in a second. So I get it all set up the way I want it, and I lay it forward as such, right? Just lay it forward. I can also check and see how, when it's laid forward, how even it's gonna be. And you know, it really doesn't matter, but I like to pay attention to detail. And then the front one here, there's these 2 flies that connect, a fly for the front and then the roof fly. They connect right where they connect. If you lift it up, there's a hole for the strap, or for the pole, excuse me, and you just slide the pole straight through it. You know, typical tent, you gotta finesse it through. I haven't found a tent yet that has a pole system like this that you don't have to finesse it through. Same thing, double grommet, 1 on each side. And you see, it's kind of got a shape to it. Now the reason that I did that is this is not advertised as a freestanding tent, but it kind of does freestand. So now you take, I'm not saying you have to, this is just how I set it up. You can set it up however you want. I'm not going to shove these all the way down in because quite honestly it's not going to be set up for very long, and I'm not going to be sleeping in it today. So, and these stakes, let me show you here. I'll see if I can find a link for them. I actually had to go buy a couple of new ones. This is it's an aluminum stake. It's triangled or tri-tipped. It's got 3 barbs on it. They go in nicely and they stay in. I've had to put a piece of paracord in here and yank it out of the ground before, but I had to go buy a couple of new ones, hence the sticker on it. But yeah, that's the stakes I use. The reason I go with these aluminum ones is because it comes with steel, and going with the aluminum, it just takes a couple of ounces, maybe, yeah, a couple of ounces off the weight of the tent. So what I do now, get back out of here, make sure it's good and tight, and I go down in so the back is set. And I come around to the front of the tent, which will be the front when it's set up. And I grabbed 2 more. And then there are 2 holes here in the front for stakes. And I pull them tight. Bam! There she is. See, it's not really set or advertised as a free standing tent, but it kind of does at the same time. It does the freestanding. Now you can use it as such. Company doesn't recommend it, but they send pieces with it so that it and there's a root right where I'm sticking that typical. You got to put your tent up and there's a root right where you're sticking your stake. But as you can see, it sets up rather nicely. It's roughly the size of your sleeping bag. Now you can walk all the way around this tent, and since I'm not really setting it up, there's a couple more spots in here for tent poles or tent stakes, you know, in the grommeted feet. You can put them in as such, pull her tight. It's up to you. Like I said, it's not advertised as a freestanding tent, but it does a great job as one. Now this is the fly. It comes with it. And let me show you here. Let's go around to the back of the tent here real quick. Okay, so like I said, Eureka doesn't advertise it as a full stand or freestanding tent because you got this is how it goes actually. Say you're buttoning down for bad weather. If it's nice weather out, I leave this open and I'll show you why in a minute. Say you're buttoning down for bad weather, right here. See how I just laid that over and that Velcro grabbed? There's a Velcro attachment here to attach the rain fly there. And then you take your other pieces to the rain fly and you go over the stake. And I leave this tied on to the tent itself right here. And then I go through the stake and this just pulls it tight. And you can adjust it, tighten the tent up a little bit, however you want. And then you're all snug as a bug. But that's the Eureka Solitaire. Let me close the front of it up here for you so I can show you the way that it actually works. And then we'll go around it and go through everything real quick with you. So, man, I can tell you, I really like this tent. So, for a couple reasons, I got a one of those, you know, like I said, I'm on a budget, and every now and then you find something that works a little bit better, but it is a little bit more expensive. So I went and picked up, you know, I'm like, I saw this tent, and I'm like, man, I can't spend that much money on a tent. I don't have that kind of money. And I went and bought a cheap little Boy Scout tent, you know, the triangular tents that are Boy Scout tents. And I went with that. So and then I ended up having problems with it, one after another. Every time I set it up, there was another problem. So I went and finally said, you know what, I'm going to give that tent a try. Sacrifice a couple of ounces, really. And you probably take, when you get rid of the stakes, you probably take them ounces off and go with this one first because of the ease of setup. The footprint is really small. That other tent, the Boy Scout tent, if you didn't know, if you ain't seen them, you have to have lines coming up the side to pull it out. And man, it gets hot in them. There's not much ventilation in them. But with this tent right here, it's set up. So let me take you around a little bit. I'm gonna come over here and show you how we set up the inside of it. So, all right. So here it is. When it's all cocooned, you know, if it's bad weather or whatever, you're completely secure. There's the Eureka Solitaire. you're completely secured inside it. And here, let me show you real quick how I set up the inside of it. Okay, so while setting up the inside of it, all you got to do is roll this fly back. It makes it, that's one of the biggest reasons why I like this tent. So you've got this strap on it, obviously the strap you put on the back, and where you tied it down on your stakes in the back. Then you come into this little Velcro strap here, and boom, the wind pulls it out of your way. The top has a zipper all the way along it. So now that it's open, you can take all your bedding material. Now, I use a wool pad. It retains, like I've said, with the socks, wool, when it's soaking wet, retains 80% of its thermal capabilities. So wool is worth its weight. If you hike, you know what worth its weight really means. And then, even without getting in the tent, check this out, even without getting in it, boom, and I can slide it forward right up to the front where you climb in. Then you have just enough room back here for your gear. I mean, you saw the bag that I use. I can leave it here, or say I'm charging or whatever, I can put all that there. There's a pocket here that I can put my battery pack in and charge the camera batteries. There's opportunities, and man, South Carolina and spiders, they're everywhere. So next step would be your sleeping bag. Just kind of do this, make it nice and easy. And like I said too, my dog goes out with me, and every now and then my wife goes out with me. She works on weekends quite a bit, so she can't go out as much. Okay, so there, that's all set up. It's done. Now, obviously you're gonna wanna keep your bugs off you, so you close your zipper. Let's say it's a really nice day and it's gonna be a really nice night, and you don't want to close the fly. So you can take the fly, and look, this small tent, that's what makes it nice. And I roll it just kind of quick and messy. It really doesn't matter. Just really quick, roll it up the back of the tent, and here you have straps where you can, whoops, didn't latch, that's my bad. You can latch your fly back, your rain fly back. And on the fly on the sides, there's spots to stick in there. Bam. There. That's all done. It's a no-see mesh, so it's really nice. And all that. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see through it, but it's called a no-see mesh. Now, yes, it's not, like I said, I'm not setting it up to stay, so it's set up with an angle, but it zips up here, has Velcro to hold these two parts of the fly together. Now, this has two settings or ways to set it up, however you want to word it. You can roll one back. Say the wind's coming this way and you want some ventilation, you can roll that one back, or you can put this one back down, and the wind's coming this way, you can roll this one back. Now you can roll it back so it opens like this. There's a way to attach it here, right here. And get out of the shot here. So it's open like that. Or you can disconnect this and roll it up here. And then what you would do is you would grab this loop here and stick it through your big fly cover and hold it back. And I believe it's the same on the other side. I normally, when I'm not in it, if it's not raining, I leave it open for maximum ventilation, as just like this. Yeah, so you've got another loop here underneath that fly, and bam. It looks a little complicated trying to show it in video, but in all actuality, it's not complicated at all. It's an extremely nice tent. The name Eureka speaks for itself. Good quality. It's watertight. It's a perfect mummy tent, and yeah, if you get it. Whoop, but see, that's why you say, that's right there. That's why you put your stakes all the way in when you're camping. Yeah, now, you know, you can get into the top, then you can open this, and you can climb in through here. See, you just leave it into the top. I actually normally use this to climb into it and seal yourself in. But on that note, that's the tent I take out. I hope you all enjoyed the video. So, yeah, I mean, man, I miss doing this. I need to get out in the woods. The ventilation in here right now, there's a breeze blowing, and it's all the way through the tent. But yeah, so like I said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, all the gear that I use, everything like that. I'll get in here and sit and talk to you for a minute. So yeah, if you liked it, down in this corner, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos of me doing crazy outdoor stuff, over here there's a subscribe button. You can turn on the little notifications so you get notifications on your mobile. And I'm starting a Patreon page, so I can, you know, maybe I get some of the people that like and want to see more of the content. They can set up and help the channel out. I'm not trying to get rich or nothing like that off this channel. I just, you know, to bring more videos and more content to you. Patreons make that easier. There's different levels and such that you can get involved in, get shout outs, you know, have interviews, whatever, what have you not. And yeah, if you want to click that, there'll be a link in the description below with a link of the rest of the gear that I could find. Some of it, you know, bought at Walmart, and it's hard to, I can tell you that, or I can even link it to you. So, but you can always, probably easier for some of you to just drive down to your local Walmart and pick it up. But yeah, I'll put a link to the Patreon and a link to everything else, and I hope you enjoyed. And on that note, everybody, have a great weekend. And until next time, this is Rob with Backwoods Trailblazers, signing off. Thanks.